There we go. Welcome to Rock Players. It's another Thursday, and we have a lovely panel of guests with us. One who seems to have turned off his camera. So let's start. Let's not start to my side. To the instead, let's go upwards. Hello, welcome to the show, Ash. How are you,
Hello.
man?
Yeah, pretty good, mate. Glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. So I think you're new to a lot of people in the community. So why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Ash. I basically do a lot of content creation for XPN Network. We basically do like live podcasts, probably similar to what you guys do, talking about all things gaming. We've tried to move away from like the news and the fanboy drama side of it, and now we've moved on to like game spotlighting instead, and it's been beautiful since we came back. I don't have to talk about ABK and all that sort of stuff. I just talk about cool games like indie darlings and weird and wonderful things that I've been playing, which is great.
I feel you, man.
I just got to the point. We got burnt out every week. It's like, oh, it's ABK again. Oh, it's this. Someone said something mean on Twitter, and it's just pointless. So we do a lot of that. We do a lot of like gaming live streams, and I pump out so many review videos. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that you do. It's insane how many reviews you put out. I don't know how you keep up with it.
It's horrible. I love doing it, but I just play. I record basically. If I'm on the Xbox, I'm on the PlayStation. I record games, like all the footage, and I just store it, and then I'll just pump out a video every now and again. But I do it unscripted, so
it's like
I don't
several
have to type
times a week. I think I see you post a new review.
I've been trying to do Monday to Friday, one a day at least of a review. And then if I fail to do one, I do two on one day to catch up. So we're like, say,
it's crazy.
We did the eight. I did the 800
to do one a month, dude. Come on.
Oh man, it's crazy. There's so much stuff, and then I do like stuff for members. Oh, it's great. It's just like content. I love talking about games. I love talking in general, movies, anime, wrestling, all that sort of stuff. And it moment, like I say, we've been for more fun. So we're doing all the live streams together because we're always playing and stuff like that. So now we're all just playing together, having a laugh, and letting the chat join in. We get him on the stream and stuff. So
sorry, I forgot I whipped out a knife.
Okay. All
probably
just off the hook. Sure.
Sorry about that, people.
Sorry, Rokk, for losing the ad money. But yeah,
so much for that.
Lovely to have you here, Ash. And also, let's say hi to Phoenix. I managed to drag her away from Baldur's Gate.
You did, but only for an hour because I've got a date. Yes,
a Baldur's Gate date.
Yes, darn it! I was going to say, tell us more. This is why we have you on the show.
I mean, she has more details. Astarion, so
bring him on. Let's meet.
Sorry, Astarion, darling.
Yeah. I had a couple of weeks off doing life stuff, meeting family and catching up, and then Baldur's Gate on the weekend for PlayStation, and I love it. I love it so much.
So good. All right, I've been because I've seen you in chats for basically every single member of the community I've seen streaming Baldur's Gate for the last month. Now that you finally have your own hands on it, how does it feel?
I'm useless. I was I have watched so many hours of people that are really, really good at it play, and then when it was my turn, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I just got no idea what I'm doing.
Like honestly, I feel like I know tabletop RPGs pretty well at this point because I've been playing them for 10 years.
Yeah,
I've played the first Baldur's Gate, the second, like a lot of D&D games. I also don't really know what I'm doing a lot of the time.
Yeah, I'm good now. I'm good. So I've just basically replayed the first 2 hours of the game about 5 times over and over again, and now I'm happy. I can move on.
Checks out with my experience as well.
Yes.
And like the best thing is perfectly fine to not have any idea what you do. You'll have fun anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So I've got 2 playthroughs. So I've got a multiplayer story going and a single player. So I'm alternating between the 2 at the minute.
Oh, that's fun. I haven't found a good. I'm trying to convince my wife to sit down and play multiplayer with me, but she doesn't have any time whatsoever right now and for the next year. So I don't know. Maybe next year.
You have kids. Do you ever have time for
that too? So I totally feel you. I would like to try out the multiplayer, but I don't know. Maybe another time. But also, welcome, Vet.
Yes,
love it to have you on.
Look, everything's working.
Yeah,
Like,
except your
gross
house
wa-
seems to be a bit iffy.
Well, I live on a mountain. What do you guys expect from me? Like the whole house is crooked. I'm literally on the mountain, so if I stand, I'm falling. That's why I just sit here and roll around.
Yeah,
No,
checks out. Checks
it's
out.
yeah. So it's good for publicity stunts and things like that. All
You
Yeah.
this
could
good
have put your
stuff.
pants away behind you, Vet.
That's actually a blanket,
Oh, okay, sorry.
mind you. The pants I threw away when I grabbed the knife that I apparently didn't. I swear to God, did not realize I'd flipped the camera and then flipped the knife open. That was like the timing was impeccable, but
It really was. I don't know. Like I was like, "That's a box. That's a knife." Like what? What? Yeah,
well, that's how we do things here in the mountains.
yeah. So
Oh,
I mean, obviously, Felix, you've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate this week. Have you played anything else, or is it just Baldur's Gate?
Just Baldur's Gate all
Yeah,
week, every
checks out.
evening.
Checks out. I've been the same for the past month. Oh, for the most part. Ash, what about you? Have you been playing anything fun this week?
Lego 2K Drive, because it was
Oh,
it was
right.
it was
Yeah.
on the free to play days over the weekend, and my son loves racing games, and we played so much Forza Horizon 4 and 5 together, like hundreds of hours, like we take it in turns and stuff like that, because he's not super always into the racing. He likes to just drive around and crash into things and stuff, and he loves building things. So this
Match made in heaven.
yeah, and this Lego one, you actually build your own cars and stuff. So he's more bothered about building weird and wonderful little cars than he is driving. So it was on sale, so we played it free over the weekend, and they really enjoyed it. And it's co-op; it has co-op campaign, like split screen, which is
Ooh.
cool. So you can do all the races together and the like challenges and stuff, like in free roam and everything, which is cool. So that's the main thing I've been playing. I played a bit of Starfield, but I don't have that much time in my life to play games anymore. I get like 10 hours is for a game is sort of like enough for me. I like to pick and choose what I'm playing. So it's been that Lego one. And I've just picked up that new, is it One Piece Odyssey? I downloaded it today. It's on sale this week. That Netflix show won me over. I've never watched the anime, but the Netflix show, I was like, right, buy that game now.
I've
never watched anime.
I mean, like I didn't watch the anime, but I did read the manga when I was a teenager, and I've been meaning to watch the Netflix show, but
Really fun.
As you say, time. Like
Yeah.
I read the Weekly World News when I was a teenager. It was a tabloid.
Explains
It
a
was
lot.
funny. It's good.
Yeah, definitely. Vet, what have you been playing this week? Except
Minecraft. I got sucked into that whole thing. It literally started like last week. I was just checking it out. I had people show up. We created a realm for a community realm, and now it's like a never. I think Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then possibly Sunday. I was up till like 1 or 2 in the morning playing Minecraft. It's
You got the
terrible.
bug.
I do. It's awful. And then I streamed it today. So I did not, however, stream it yesterday. I actually streamed Go Town, which is doesn't come out until next year. But I had the developers show up in the chat when I went live,
Nice.
like caught me off guard.
That's always
So that
fun.
was super cool. It was like I was showing some stuff off that you can. They had some new customization, so we created a Cyclops character with neon pink skin and a neon green Cyclops eye that wore glasses, and the eye blinked, but there were no eyes where the glasses are. So it's really weird, and I'm glad that the developers were there to see that, because I'm sure that was just ingrained in them. Like, this is what we made this game for. This guy right here.
Yeah,
So,
I've actually been playing not Baldur's Gate. Okay, I did play a little bit of Baldur's Gate, but I've been mainly playing and finishing for the first time. I think this might be the first game I roll credits on in this year. But Stray Gods, finally finished it, and Ash, I think it's right down your wheelhouse with the amount of hours. 6 hours for a playthrough.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's incredible. It's like it's a musical, like Broadway style musical. But
I played a bit of it actually.
but
Yeah,
it's interactive.
yeah,
and it's
we
so good.
covered it, but I only played like the first sort of like 20 minutes of it. But yeah, it looks amazing graphically.
Yeah, and it just gets like it starts out great, and it just gets better.
what
The
game
mystery
is this?
It's a interactive narrative game where like it's an interactive musical. It's a narrative story based game, but where with music from like it's an A-list voice cast, and then they sing these songs, and in the middle of the songs, you get to choose which personality you want to have, and that changes the lyrics, the instrumentals, the vibe and the emotions of the song, and you get to I think it's a total of like 15 songs in the game.
It's crazy. It does look really good. It's like a visual novel meets one of those FMV games, but not FMV. It's
so,
like
like visual style very
animated.
close to what was this? What was the mental health game on Xbox on Game Pass? Not From Dust, or maybe it was From Dust.
As Dust Falls.
Yeah.
Is
exactly.
that it?
Yeah, the very similar visual style to that. And yeah, just really good. And it's on every platform, so I mean, yeah, definitely worth picking up. Like if that doesn't win game like best music at the Game Awards, I'm rioting. Like,
Were you gonna say Game of the Year?
no, it's not gonna win Game of the Year because it's Baldur's Gate.
I was
Baldur's
waiting.
Gate's gonna win Game of the Year.
Oh yeah, but and like Baldur's Gate, any other year I would say
Twitter
Baldur's Gate would win
What?
music as well. But Stray
Twitter
Gods,
told me it was gonna
so
be
good.
Starfield, though.
Eh.
If it's on Twitter, it must be true, right?
Right? It's like the new Facebook.
I mean, I've put out on Twitter that Baldur's Gate should win Game of the Year, and that was back in March, I think.
Actually, I think someone said that retweeted, quote tweeted that, and was like, "No, actually, I hate to burst your bubble, but it's actually it's going to be a toss up between either Baldur's Gate 3 or Zelda
Yeah,
for
it's
Game
going
of
to
the
be.
Year."
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, Stray Gods is definitely one to check out. And like I said, it's like 6 hours for a playthrough, and you can easily play it like twice or 3 times, maybe even, so get a lot of enjoyment out of it. But it's crazy. 'Cause as I said, it's like 15 songs, about 3 minutes each. But like the amount of music written, I think it's close to like 1,000 minutes, like 1,000 minutes of music written for a like 6 hour game. It's
Nice.
like it's crazy. But yeah, shall we get into news? And
I heard there was some pretty big news. From
yeah,
a
I feel we
really
should-
big company.
Yeah, there's some.
Not Microsoft. Not Microsoft. I mean, I know they're a
Uh,
big company, allegedly.
Yeah, there we go. There it is. So to start with, we have this fun thing from Twitter.
This
Apparently,
was
Rockstar
awesome.
has been caught selling a cracked version of the game on Steam.
Hey, look!
Um,
I mean, everybody has to use the Pirate Bay at some point in time. Just
Wow.
happens to be Rockstar this time.
Yeah, it's weird.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
I
It is
had-
really one of those like things you didn't expect would happen. But I guess we're here. Sure.
I would love to know all the people that bought that game and just found out that they paid for something that they could have just downloaded for free themselves. Like, because
Yeah.
that's just one of those. You're gonna get on Twitter. You're gonna be like, then you're gonna go look and be like, "Son of a bleep! I just paid for this, and I could have gone to the same site they did and got this."
The exact same version, yeah.
Oh,
Like, to be
great.
clear, this is Midnight Club 2 that's been found in the exe file. There's like a decoded text with the cracked, like the people who cracked it. Yeah, happens every
Oh,
now and
man.
then. It's always a weird
Three
thing when it
three
happens.
times though for Rockstar. It wasn't even just this one. They've done it before though.
Yeah,
So does that? I'm almost like, does that put them into question? Like, how many of their games now are people going to go and like start to look and be like, how many of my buying are just cracked versions? Because
I mean,
it's Midnight Run 2, it's Max Payne, and then there was the third one. I can't remember.
it's also like this is an older game, and this version runs better than the one without the crack, because the one without the crack has takes quite a heavy performance hit from the anti-piracy system in it, which has been removed from this version. So it was probably a case of like, we don't really care about piracy for this game. It works. It's so old. It's already cracked. Whatever. We can't be bothered to remove the anti-piracy stuff. So let's just use the crack instead.
That's so great that it's like, well, we couldn't do.
It's a case of like any publicity out of it gets from this is worth more to them than spending money on removing the anti-piracy code, which is a bit weird, but that's just how economy works, I guess. Speaking of pirates, Skull and Bones. proud of that segue.
Still.
Yeah, and Skull and Bones is reportedly losing their third creative director, and they still without release it. However, I mean, keep in mind it's been in the last beta, people actually liked it. So it seems like it's finally showing some progress and seeming like a good game now. So hopefully that creative director isn't really needed for this last like polishing step and getting it out the door. But yeah, it's not a game that has a lot of like nothing is going their way.
I look forward to playing it once I've finished Beyond Good and Evil 2. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, yeah, that might come first. Because there's also this other story out of the same studio. Ubisoft Singapore, the developers behind Skull and Bones, is facing union action over pay and workless treatment.
My God.
So yeah, it's not a good day to work to be Ubisoft. So hopefully they can recover from this and get this game out the door and just move on to their next thing. Because I think at this point, I don't think they want to keep doing this anymore. They just want to get rid of this game.
They should just stick it out as free to play. Why are they trying to push? I know they want to recoup a bit of money, but they're going to charge for it. It's going to die so quickly because no one wants to pay for it. They should stick it free to play, give you some benefits for having Ubisoft Plus, and it may slightly recoup some of its losses through like a season pass or something like that. But other than that, it's if they charge for this game, there's going to be like 5 people playing
I
it.
think their issue is that they have a written agreement with the government of Singapore that this game needs to be like. I don't know the details of it, but I know like because it's just like it's not been announced public what what that agreement is. But the rumors is that it, among other things, require like Ubisoft got a lot of like a hefty tax discount if they set up a studio and build a game that's set in the area around Singapore. But I think there might also be some like Metacritic score requirement on it. Like it needs to have a certain, like it can't just be any crap that they threw together. It has to be a properly good game. And
so why have they made this then?
Because like they started making, and like I also think they're not allowed to cancel the production of the game. Like it has to release, but it also has to be a finished product that's actually people like. Like I don't know the details because that's not the public, but yeah, it's a mess, and I think it's, to my understanding, it's a legal mess with like the government of Singapore for tax reasons. Like I don't know, it's weird. Yeah,
It's already 5 years late. What's another 5?
I think isn't it more than 5 years later at this point?
I think it was like 2018 or.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. No,
It's been a long time.
Its development started in 2013, and it was announced as a DLC for Black Flag. It was announced as a standalone, like separate game in 2017, if I remember correctly. With as you say, I think you're right. With a release date for 2018, and then
Has someone been trying to get this game out for 10 years?
yes,
Like, is there anyone left?
And initially, it was a DLC for Black Flag. That just grew and became this horrible nightmare for them. I think they've completely restarted development 3 or 4 times at this point.
Do you know, if they'd just left Assassin's Creed stuck on the net title, people would probably be interested. But because it hasn't got that, they could have then launched it in that Assassin's Creed new universe project thing they're bringing out and used it as like some kind of multiplayer. But I'm gonna play it. I've got Ubisoft Plus at the moment.
Yeah, same.
I got that £1 for a month, and now there's enough coming out for the next couple of months. There's that racing game next week. Then there's Assassin's Creed and stuff. I'm set. But I was hoping I was going to play this year, but I don't know if I will.
Yeah, I mean, same. I'm gonna play. Like I've been. I think I subbed to Ubisoft Plus when they like a month when there were rumors that they would announce a Ubisoft Plus for Stadia. So signed up for that, and then they introduced that, and they introduced a higher tier with like multi-access. But everyone who was already signed up got to keep the price. And so I pay the original, like the lower price for the for and get the benefit of the higher price, which when you think about it, the higher price tag includes access to it on Stadia and Luna, and Stadia's closed. So, and I don't have Luna in Sweden, so I'm just paying the original price. But I mean, if they announce Ubisoft Plus is coming to PlayStation, I will probably get access on PlayStation, which is kind of nice.
That's good then.
But yeah, so like I've just stuck with it since then because I don't want to lose that grandfather plan.
So you didn't play the closed beta a couple of weeks ago, Bjorn?
I didn't have time. I was at a wedding,
Ah, yes, of course.
so no Skull and Bones for me. And yeah, there's like I think every time that Ubisoft has put out something like that, like a closed beta or a like an event or anything like that, since like April, I've been unavailable. Every single time, and I try to I really wanted to cover their stuff because I mean they even were kind enough to let me into their partnership program, but I still haven't done anything with it because I don't have time. Because every time it's like, hey, you want to do this event with us this weekend? Like, yeah, I'm sorry, can't. I'm out of town, or like I'm busy. I'm booked on this thing. God damn it!
It's a hard thing to do, that, isn't it? Hard life.
Yeah. I am I'm currently setting up a charity small charity event stream for October 10th, which is Global Mental Health Day, and I'm talking to Ubisoft about maybe doing something with them for that. So we'll see where it ends up.
Nice.
But yeah, and by the way, if anyone wants to join me in that, hit me up and we'll sort it out. It's gonna be fun. Moving on, then we have there's a still. I mean, I think the gaming industry has tried really hard to remove crunch from the daily lives of developers, but at the same time, we're still more than half of game developers experience crunch, according to a survey. That's bad. I had hoped we had come further, but we haven't. The longest reported average was 95 hours a week.
Average. Some people were doing more than that. That's crazy.
Yeah. So most people work an average of 40 hours a week, but a quarter of people works for 41 hours or more a week. And over half, 58% of the respondents said they were paid with an annual salary, whereas 26% worked with an under hourly pay.
Jesus.
Yeah, a lot of people reported issues with overtime pay, with some claiming they were exempt from overtime pay, which is just horrible.
To be fair, I've had that not in games development, but it's a common thing that happens in jobs nowadays. You do overtime, and then they try and find every single loophole known to man to not pay you that overtime.
Yeah, it's like, I think at my job, it's like, yeah, I sometimes have to do things like not overtime, but like weird times. So we have like systems need rebooting in the middle of the night or something, and so I'll have to work an hour during the middle of the night. But then it's also like always like, yeah, so if you work 1 hour during the night, you can take 1 hour, like just sleep in an hour or two, and everyone's fine.
Yeah,
with it.
get
Also,
a bit of flexi time.
Yeah. Like I'm not getting paid for it, but I get some flexi time, and also I get 5 extra days of paid time off, like paid vacation time off a year because I don't have any overtime in my agreement, and like that's also like that's quite common. But that's like a fair deal, that's an intentional deal. Like people are fine with it, but yeah, just generally like, yeah, no overtime, and then forcing people to work overtime regularly, that's just shitty. So yeah. Games industry, you're halfway there, but get your shit together. I guess that's my
wise words.
Yeah. This one, let's ignore that one. I didn't have time to read it and understand it. Same with that one. This is the one I was looking at next. So Atari Age is apparently a retro community for Atari games.
Ooh,
and
nice.
That they've been bought by Atari. So Atari requires Atari Age, which was a fun headline in itself. But the site's founder is being onboarded into Atari as a internal historian. How cool is that? I want that job title. Like, game historian? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Atari have been making some good moves. I mean, I know it's not the actual Atari anymore. It's like THQ. It's like it's just a new company with the same name. But they've been slowly but surely doing some decent moves, Atari, over recent years. They've just announced that new console, the 2600 Plus, which plays the original cartridges and everything, which is on like
that's neat.
on like HDMI and stuff like that. I thought that was great. They've
Yeah.
done the Atari box thing, which isn't actually that bad when you actually get hold of it. And they've started doing all sorts of really cool little things like this, bit by bit, building up the
Yeah, they're
reputation.
making a comeback, and I love it.
Yeah, wasn't there an acquisition earlier in the year where they bought loads of gaming titles from
Yeah, they bought all the IPs. I
80s
think it
and
was about
90s?
40, 50 IPs or something like that, and the
Yeah, and like
licenses for them.
the remasters of their old gems is also really good.
Yeah, I like them ones that they're on. What they're called? They're just they've all got the same like last
Yeah.
name, haven't they? I've played about 4 of them so far on Xbox, and they're really fun. They've done a good job with them.
Ooh, it would be exciting if they were building up to something.
We can hope.
Yeah.
I really like. They've just announced an arcade one-up cabinet, like arcade, an Atari 50th, and I want it so bad. But in the UK, they're so expensive. Arcade ones up, like we've got like Smiths that have like the same Street Fighter and Pac-Man ones that are about 6 years old.
Yep.
And everything else is like £700. I'm like, I don't want to pay that for an arcade machine that is just emulating it.
There we go.
Recharged, yeah. They're so good. I really enjoy them. They've done a really good job.
Breakout was great. Like I grew up playing DX Ball, which was a like shareware ripoff of Atari Breakout. So I never played the original, and then I remember when Breakout launched on Stadia just before Stadia closed, and I played it quite a bit, and it was so good. It felt so nice to play Breakout again. I should pick it up again. I really like it.
It's really,
and it looks
good.
Like and also like the art style of these. It's just like the art style of the research games are just gorgeous.
Yeah, I saw one the other day that I really wanted to get, and I wish I'd bought it because it was on sale last week. It was the Yar's Revenge one.
Yeah,
I love Yar's Revenge. Such a good game. I mean, I was never a massive Atari player. It was a bit before my time, but I do love Yar's Revenge. I could play that all the time. So next time I see it, I'm going to have to pick it up.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pick Breakout up for and play with the kids. Because my kids have never seen this game at all. They don't know what it is. So you got to introduce them to it.
I got my Evercade VS out the other week. I say the other week, a couple of months back now. I've got like every single cartridge. The only thing my son wanted to play was Pong. He started playing that, and then he was on it for about an hour just playing Pong.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
Pong is great.
Oh, the Evercade! I haven't seen one of those in forever.
Oh, I love it. It's the only thing I buy physically nowadays. They bring out like 2 cartridges every month or 2. And I've got my on like 30 odd now. Everything else is digital, so I love it.
Yeah, I mean, Sweden is kind of weird in that sense because there isn't really a big arcade scene here because arcades were banned in the 80s, like 70s and 80s.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like the arcade, I think we got like a few arcade halls, and then some parents got scared that people were. Like kids went there and spent all their money and bought drugs and they got banned.
Afford drugs. You're putting them into machines.
Exactly. But yes, no. So they got banned, which also then led to like a massive upswing in home consoles instead. So like the Game & Watch and like to a point where Nintendo's biggest market outside of Japan was Scandinavia.
Wow.
For like 20 years. So Sweden is a big console market and PC market, but we're not really that big on arcades because we didn't have them back when everyone else had them. It's weird how the world turns out. As Ninja pointed out to us, we had a new Netflix Games has released a new game just today, the Vikings Valhalla. So it looks very much like one of those. It's an RTS game, maybe. It looks like
those mobile games where you've got a little army.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, Netflix games are generally pretty decent and there are no ads and there's no pay to win at all. It's just part of your Netflix subscription. I'm gonna check this out because this looks like it could be an interesting mobile RTS maybe.
Yeah, I've played a few of the Netflix games, and I was honestly surprised on mobile how good they were. So it's definitely worth checking them out. If you have Netflix, just log in on your Netflix app, and you can download them all. It's great.
Yeah,
there's a SpongeBob one. They had Turtles as well. That was good playing Turtles on mobile. It's not as good as the console, but if that's all you've got and you've got like half an hour to spare to play a level or two,
Yeah,
it
it's
is
great.
really good.
And like there's a lot of really good a lot of really good games, like indie games, like like what was it? Is it Moonlighter, the like the dungeon crawling store game. Um,
I know which one
like
you mean. I don't know if that's the
yeah,
name. I think it might be though.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that one is on there and it's free. So yeah, like if you have Netflix, then you have Netflix games, and why not download some of them if you have an Android? Because it's a great, like, they're free.
Do you think they'll
And
start doing console versions free at some point? Because obviously they're starting to publish them now. Do you think there'll be a way in the future, or maybe not on console, maybe like the PC versions
I
anyway?
think because they are rumored to be working on a cloud solution, so I think cloud.
Yeah,
I think, and I think it will be like one of those, like you connect the Bluetooth controller to your smart TV, and then you can play games on your smart TV.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'd try that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, coming from the Stadia community, cloud works. Like I know that for a fact. That's how I play my games. So yeah,
I need to patch my Stadia controller still before it runs out in about a
yeah,
month's
it's
time.
like public service announcement. If you have a Stadia controller and haven't patched it yet, do so before like November or something, or January. Or
I
before the
took
end
it
of the
out
year,
the
I
other
think.
day, and I was like, "Oh no, I need to do that so I can
And
actually use it."
it's a very simple process. You basically just plug it in, hit some prompts, and then you're done.
Yeah,
It takes like 2 minutes. So yeah, definitely, and like as a Bluetooth controller, they're pretty great. I have 3 of them. I use them regularly.
nice.
Some other news out of the industry: SAG-AFTRA has been voting to. I think they have voted at this point. I think this article just says they are to vote. I think they have. So there is a strike authorization vote to come as a union bargains over wages and protection against using AI instead of voice actors. So basically, this means that these listed companies are, like any that handle voice, motion, and performance capture in video games, and any member of SAG-AFTRA is not allowed to work with them, and which means a lot of people won't work with them. Just period. And that's Activision Productions, Blind Light, Disney Character Voices, Electronic Arts Productions, Epic Games, Formosa Interactive, Insomniac Games, Take-Two Productions, VoiceWorks Productions, and Warner Brother Games. And so until the strike is over, there won't be any more work done on any games that these people handle. Which is, I would say, I mean, it sucks to be to be on the production teams and waiting for those voices, but like, yeah, good.
Why not do it?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, they should pay them.
fully- Yeah, like they should pay them better, and they should like don't use people's voices at using AI without their without an agreement for it. And it's like they're not it's not like they're asking for weird things. It's basically just saying like on camera performance to be given rest periods of 5 minutes per hour. Yeah, of course. Why
Why
is
are they
that
not?
something to discuss?
Why
Like,
is
come
that
on.
even a thing?
Yeah,
Like they shouldn't have to ask for that. Like it's just
exactly.
good.
Or like set medics to be
Okay.
present where any stunts or hazardous work is performed, as is the case with TV and film. That's not a thing in the game when you do performance capture. It fucking should be. Come on.
It does scare you that they've got away with it for so long, doesn't it?
Yeah,
And they're only now just being sort of called out properly for it.
yeah. Or like prohibitions against stunts on performers' self-taped auditions makes sense. Why do they have to like prohibit that? That should just be not a thing. Yeah, this so like, come on. Yeah, I hope they. I hope they get
That's
what they want.
bonkers. It's like bonkers when they're not even getting 5 minutes of rest when their voice that's what their job is.
Yeah, and they
And-
want like a pay rise to account for inflation. Checks out. Artificial intelligence predictions around consent, control, transparency, and compensation. Like if I hire Troy Baker to voice a character in my game, and then I feel like, oh, I want to have more lines. Like I want to add a DLC adding more lines, but I don't want to pay him again. I'm just going to use the ones I have to train an AI to do it for me. Yeah, no, don't do that. Like,
To be fair, Troy Baker was pushing for an AI voice company like 6-7 months ago.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was. So
yeah, and then realized.
but any other voice actor, Yeah, let's not do
and
that. But for any
and also
scummy
to be
voice
fair to
actor
Troy
that
Baker,
wants it,
to be fair to Troy Baker, he did also apologize for that and back out of it and say like I did an oopsie.
we'll slightly
Um,
let him off then.
yeah, but no, but it's one of those like I'm all for the technology itself because it's impressive and it's useful and powerful. Like if you're a small indie dev, like solo developer with no income, and you want to have a voice acted characters, it's really cool that you can use. Like there are AI voices out there that you can use, or you can even use yourself or friends and family. But yeah, don't just like rip someone's voice off. I can see the appeal of doing it for a mod. Like there's this, there are, I know there are mods for like The Witcher 3 where that adds new quests, and then for those quests to then not stand out from the rest of the game by not having any voice audio or someone else doing Geralt, they used an AI to replicate Geralt's voice. Really cool, and in that case, I mean, it's a free mod for the game. I can see that being kind of okay, but also maybe I can also see why you wouldn't be okay with it. But yeah, in general, just like how is
Maybe
it
for
so
like
hard?
non-commercial projects, it's not as shady.
Exactly,
It's
yeah,
all right in that sense, isn't it?
yeah.
So
And I don't understand why companies have such a hard time to getting to the concept of don't be a dick.
Yeah.
It's not that
It's
hard.
crazy. Like people are starting to have to write in like their wills, like do not use my likeness, like when I'm gone.
Yeah,
It's bonkers. It's
yeah, it's
bonkers.
weird. Or at least like feel free to use my likeness, but if you do, compensate my family.
Yeah, make sure my family get paid.
Yeah, uh, it's
scary
weird.
times, isn't it? Really.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that was not the right. There we go. So let's switch gears a bit and talk about Baldur's Gate 3 on PS5. I haven't played it on PS5. I've only played it on PC, and to be honest, I've mostly played it on my phone using GeForce Now and a controller. So I have played the same UI that you have, Phoenix, but I haven't played it with the DualSense. So first of all, like, how do you feel like? How do you? What would you say the controls feel like? Like, does
Yeah,
it
really
work?
good. Really good.
Right?
So when I was watching PC, I thought there was a lot of busyness on the screen, and I thought I
Yeah, a
don't
lot
think I can play this
of
on
buttons.
PlayStation. But they've done it so the move sets are on wheels. So you hit the shoulder buttons, and then the wheels come up, and then you can rotate, and then choose your move, choose your action. And I think it's really nice. And some of the haptic triggers, it's really weird. Like when you scroll through the characters to pick them, there's a bit of like feedback on them, and it's just really nice. I think it works really well. I've seen a few people say they think it's better on PlayStation than PC actually.
Yeah, like I said, I played mostly with a controller, so I get the same. I've used the same UI, on on a phone, and it's a very well made UI. It's insanely well. Like I don't understand how they did it, but it works so good. And also like it plays very differently because I mean, obviously on PC it's like isometric almost, and you it's like click to move, whereas on the controller it's just like a third person action game in a sense,
Yeah,
and how to
it's
control.
really like immersive. Like it's really hard to explain because you're just pushing a button, but because I play PlayStation so much, it just feels different. When I push the buttons, they just don't feel like they usually do.
Yeah.
It's just the technology and the controller is just amazing.
And then it's like, yeah, here's a nice GIF of the
Yeah.
quite slightly blurry GIF of the UI, but it works so well. Like radial menus are powerful, but also, um, yeah, as you mentioned, there's a, as you say, some haptic feedback. There's also a lot of other interesting. Have you noticed that the light bar will change colors a lot? A lot.
No, but I'm gonna notice it now.
Yeah. So
I
like
never
if
look down. I'm always
So
like,
if you're casting a spell, it will the light will change
oh, cool,
to to color to tell you which type of damage it is. So if it's fire damage, it goes red. If it's
sweet.
necrotic damage, it goes green. Like to tell you that. And then in the same way, if you're affected by like paralyzed or bleeding or charmed, the controller will light up in that matching color. Which I thought was when I read that I was like, oh, that's really neat. Um, yeah, and then also yeah, adaptive feedback. So if you just click a little bit on a trigger, it will just open the menu, like the wheel menu a little bit, so you can
Yep.
check it, and then it will just close automatically. If I hold it past a certain point, it will just remain open. Also incredibly clever. It's, yeah, I'm impressed with how they've done it. And I'm
Yeah, it
I'm
works really
probably
well.
yeah, I'm probably gonna buy it again on on the PS5
You
at
can
this
join
point.
me.
Yeah.
We can have our own multiplayer.
Yeah, I was hoping to get a review key for the PlayStation so I can include that in my review, but at this point I feel like I'm just gonna buy it myself because I didn't get one. But yeah, it's out on PlayStation and it's pretty cool. Also, this is fun.
Aw.
Did you play? Did you guys play Stray?
Yes. So I actually only got the extra essentials PSN level because I wanted to play Stray. So they lured me in with it. So I paid extra just so I could be a cat. But you know what? I got a bit of motion sickness. I'm not gonna lie. Being a cat, it was hard work. It was good.
I mean, it could have been worse. Could have been being a cat in VR.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. It's good. Would
Yeah.
recommend playing.
Yeah, definitely.
And did you play it, Ash?
Yeah. Quite, it's one of the few games like that I wanted my PlayStation Plus subscription for when it came out. So I played through it at launch. I'm going to pick it up again. It's on Xbox as well, so I fancy picking it up for there and playing through it for the achievements. But yeah, it's a really fun little game, and it's bite size. You can get through it in not too long, which is good. And it looks nice as well. It looks really cool. I'm a sucker for cat games. Every now and again, you've got to love a game full of cats. So
Yeah, it's pretty. It's a great idea, and it's also set to become an animated feature film,
nice.
which is.
Is it going to be computer animated or like hand drawn animated?
I don't know yet. Like I think at
As
this
he
point,
said.
all we know is it's Annapurna animation, and they're going to make an animated feature film based on.
I bet it'll probably look like the actual game then.
Yeah, probably.
Be cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Looking forward to see how that turns out. And this is an event that starts in just a few days that I can recommend everyone to check out. So it's called Save and Sound, and it's a small Danish indie developer who started it, and then they just brought everyone along for the ride. And it's concerts and music and audio deep dives by over 70 studios. 200 demos, sales, and soundtracks on sale, and 10 hours of original content being showed off during this event.
Nice.
And it's happening on Steam, YouTube, and Twitch, and through September 11th to September 14th. And they have a nice little infographic here. So games that will like every day there will be different games showing off the music, and I think we'll have everything from like behind the scenes stuff to a live concert to new tracks. I think one of these days there's an Australian symphony orchestra that will like have a live streamed medley of like an hour. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. And like it's some like everything from small indie titles that I've never heard of to like Baldur's Gate 3 is in here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. And I mean Alex Mukala, who has a great YouTube channel, who is also a composer and a really good bass player. He's doing something. Looking forward to see what that is. Viewfinder soundtrack from Viewfinder, soundtracks from Chia, Stray Gods, Vampire Survivors, Inscription. So a bunch of games. So yeah, and I think all of these games will also have. Most of these games will either have the soundtrack on sale or the game will be on sale as well during this. So yeah,
What was that on? Was it on Twitch? Sorry, Bjorn.
Twitch, YouTube, and Steam, and it's been going for 3 years.
Nice.
So yeah, it's Save and Sound. It's an online music festival with sales and demos on Steam.
Yeah, I like that.
Definitely worth checking out. I mean, it's a pretty cool title in here. I'm gonna be glued to my headphones when that happens. So, speaking of which, what would you guys say is your favorite soundtrack of all time, or this year, if you prefer?
Ooh.
And do you listen to soundtracks outside of gaming?
It's got to be Final Fantasy for me. Final Fantasy X.
Yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy is known for having great music, so
Yeah.
I can see why. But do you listen to it outside of gaming?
I have one of the Final Fantasy songs as my alarm in the morning. So yeah, every day. I
Nice.
hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, I wake up to Stellaris. It's nice.
Wait.
How
Yeah.
about you, Ash?
So I'm trying to think what my favorite would be because there's so many and they're all like different types. So I couldn't say 100% what my favorites are, but like outside of games, I have listened to quite a few of them. I love like covers of video game soundtracks as well. Like I love Silent Hill and Resident Evil covers. Final Fantasy 9, which is the
Yeah.
best Final
Nice.
Fantasy, has the
Oh,
best music. I'll stand on that hill. Final Fantasy 9
I'll let
is
you
the
off.
best. But to say, I don't think it came out this year, but it's one I played a huge amount. And yes, I do love Peppa Pig music. Yeah, Game of the Year last year, so gotta love it. But the Final Fantasy theatre rhythm game, first time I've ever played one, and I don't know if it came out this year or late last year. Played that on PS5. To me, that is probably the best game soundtrack I've heard, just because it had so many different soundtracks in, and not just Final Fantasies. It had like Live a Live and stuff like that, and all the others. So I've been playing that loads. I just keep going back to it because you can just do like a soundtrack or two at a time. Really fun little game. But yeah, outside of that, I've been getting loads from, is it Dark Moon Studios or something like that? They do video game music albums and they send me like all the press releases for them. So
Ooh,
they always have
Nice.
like
I should check that out.
yeah, remind me and I'll
Yeah,
dig out my emails. But
definitely,
some of
definitely.
them are for like games I've never heard of, but then others you'll get like Legend of Zelda sort of themed albums and stuff, which was pretty cool. And I like
Yeah,
there
that's
was a
cool.
Castlevania heavy metal album, which was
Oh, yeah,
awesome.
but that's
Ooh,
really cool.
So
nice.
stuff like that. I don't tend to listen to specific game soundtracks. I'll pick certain songs, but there's some that I just can always go back to and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of video game soundtracks in general. And I'm mainly into usually into the more orchestral sounds,
Yeah.
like your Baldur's Gates or like the Europa Universalis. That's a great soundtrack, one of my absolute favorites. Like or the Skyrim, but for me also, Guild Wars 1 and 2 has so much good music. It should be illegal. Um, but also, I mean, Stray Gods, right up there. I will listen to that soundtrack a lot this year, I think. Now, like, I didn't want to touch it before I finished the game, but now that I have, I'm happy to hear all the different variations of the songs and really discover it.
Yeah.
So I was blown away by that soundtrack.
When we did our review on the website, I looked because I put it together on the website when someone had written it up for me. I found a video on YouTube of just one of the songs. I think it was like 30 minutes long. It's only
Yeah.
like a 3-minute song, but they put all the variants into one video, and it was like 30 odd minutes, and it's like
The
it's so
best
much.
thing is, I know the composer also Wintry, but like he's also a composer of like Journey,
Yeah.
and like he's a big, really great composer. He pointed out in a podcast that he had actually seen that very same video, and he said that they missed two variations. He was like, "Yeah, that's so cool." They also didn't get all of them. Which is really fun. But yeah, it's there's some great music out there, and I love that they celebrate it. Speaking of which, we're me and Ninja Guy X and Purple Haze is trying to figure out when to do our next video game music podcast. We have one called Hear Me Out. We're trying to figure out when to do the next episode. Probably Tuesday or Wednesday next week.
Nice. I'll look out for that.
So yeah, looking forward to doing that. It's always great fun to just because what we do is we meet up, we bring one track each, we show it off to each other, and then we talk a bit about them. We just celebrate video game music. Because why
Yeah.
not?
It's just so nostalgic, like some of those like tunes.
Yeah, and the best thing is, we're three people bringing one song each every time, and usually it's very rare for us for anyone else to have heard the songs that's being put out on that. Like a lot of times, it's like I've never heard of this game at all. I don't know what this is at all. And then we hear the music, it's like this is so cool, and it's like that for all of us most of the time. So it's kind of insane. Because we're three gamers who, we play pretty similar games in a lot of cases, but also, I mean, obviously some other things as well. Yeah, it's cool, and I agree with you there, Ash. Lord of the Rings is definitely in terms of movies, best soundtrack, best
terms of
everything.
like orchestral soundtrack, it's my favorite. But if you're asking for like a list of like best songs on a soundtrack, like licensed music, there's a lot out there. But Lord of the Rings blows
Yeah,
everything away.
like the lighting of the beacons is just mind blowing.
Yeah,
Every single time you hear it, and I mean, I've watched those movies hundreds of times. I've listened to that
yeah,
soundtrack without the movies
yeah.
equally amount of time, many times, and like every single time it's like goosebumps.
There's a fan done audio book of the trilogy
Ooh.
that uses the music from the films in it. So trying to get hold of it, it's on one of the archive websites, but it used to be on Spotify, but they've took it down now. But he does all the voices and everything, but it has like it brings in the soundtracks and sections from the movies, so you can picture it even better. And because Lord of the Rings as a book is a little dry at times, but when you've got
Yeah,
that epic
I
music
Never
love
from it,
Tolkien,
managed
but
it. I never
he's
managed to get through it.
like I love Tolkien. He's great, but yeah, it's a bit of a slog at times for sure.
yeah, like Treebeard's house is very big. It's made of wood. It's got a wooden table. It's for a wooden man, and it goes on and on and on. And you're like, just say he sat down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like those books could have been way shorter if it had been written by anyone else.
And it was like 46 or 48 hours long. The audio books are in the end.
Yeah, I think I have.
Amazing.
Like I grew up we had these like Swedish version of the BBC radio did a radio play of Lord of the Rings in Swedish that we used to listen to. It was I think 10 or 12 CDs. We used to listen to it like whenever we went on a road trip with the family. It was like we didn't have music on the car. We had that one on.
Nice.
And it was really good, and like some big actors as well in it. Like so, like some of Sweden's biggest actors was in that doing voices, and no, it's yeah, Lord of the Rings is great.
I would say Lord of the Rings Online has one of the best video. Is one of my favorite video game soundtracks. I totally forgotten about it because I haven't
Right,
played it in a long
I haven't.
time.
I don't think I've listened to that one
My God,
since it came
it's
out. I should probably
amazing. And
revisit
the,
that.
the the later ones aren't as great. The expansion soundtracks, they don't sound as good, but the first core game and the first couple of expansions, the soundtrack on that, I could listen to that loads. So it's just so good.
Yeah, I mean, I did like the nostalgia things of the soundtracks on that because I haven't played it yet, but the latest expansion, the Guild Wars 2, like I haven't played that yet because I'm not like I still haven't started on the last one yet. I'm a bit behind, but the music, like I started listening to the main theme of this new expansion, and then like they have so many homages to like the main theme of the original game soundtrack, which is in a way I just didn't expect. It was like I got shivers almost when I heard it because I played that original game for 3,000 hours. It's my most played game ever. So hearing that soundtrack pop up in this new version was like, yeah, it was really nice. But yeah, some a fun note about Starfield. It succeeded 1 million concurrent players already. That's pretty good. Pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
considering Baldur's Gate did reach, I mean, sure it was only on Steam, but it got like 800, like almost 900,000. This is so more people have played Starfield at the same time that played Baldur's Gate.
I'm honestly shocked how little people are playing it on Steam. I'm assuming it's Game Pass because
yeah.
everyone's playing it on Game Pass. But I was expecting it would hit about 500,000 on Steam. But
Yeah, I think it's definitely Game Pass being the villain there for them.
yeah, it's still good though. I think at the weekend it's going to shoot up because all those people that rushed out took time off last week to play it on pre-release, like early access. I won't be rushing to play it the rest of this week. They'll be back at work and stuff. So I think at the weekend we might see it spike a little bit, but I don't think it'll get anywhere near what Baldur's Gate got on Steam.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I think it's like I still haven't I haven't even had time to start it yet. But I mean, I did love Skyrim, and I do like sci-fi, so I should like it. I guess we'll see. Yeah, it's one of those games. Like I think everyone and their mothers will want to try at least try Starfield out. It feels like.
Yeah, it's like Marmite in it. Oh, everyone wants to see what it's like, but half the people don't like it all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a really good
It's
way
one
to
of
put
those
it.
things that you've got to try it for a while. Starfield. I'm not the biggest Bethesda like Fallout, Skyrim lover. They're not my cup of tea games. I have played Starfield, but even you have to get through the first couple of hours, which isn't always the best thing to say about a game. Give it a few hours before it gets good. But
Yeah, I'm with you there.
once you get past that, honestly, it is so crazy. How like expansive it is, which is great. But I do feel, I'm a person that like if it doesn't grab me in the first 5 minutes, like to like half an hour, I'm like, well, I'll move on to something else. But I stuck with it because we covered it on the channel, like in early access. So I stuck with it, and it did get a lot better. But they shouldn't be like that. But I do recommend people stick with it, even though like it should hit you with something amazing right at the beginning, and it doesn't. It doesn't. It's a slow burn.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few people say like the story is like all right, but it's the side missions that's where the fun's
The
at.
side missions are just
I mean,
crazy.
to be
Some of
honest,
the
I
weird
just
stuff
want
you
to
can do.
customize my spaceship and see what crazy things I can come up with. And I hope most of the sheets from the like engine sheets for that you worked for both Oblivion and Skyrim workers as well. 'Cause I think I still remember in the back of my head the code to add money in Skyrim, and because it's the same in Skyrim and Oblivion. I think it was like one character difference. Like hit the tile key and then you type this thing in, and you can add X amount of gold to your inventory, and I did that quite a lot in different playthroughs. So at some point, I was like, I don't want to bother with money anymore. There we go. That was it. I'm rich now. Yeah,
It's an expensive game though. Like it takes all of your money. Like not in terms of real world, but in the game, it's like real life. They just take all your money off you. They're like, oh, you've got to pay your mum and dad. You got to pay for your house. You got to pay this and that. They just take all your money off you. So you end up you have to be a pirate to make a lot of money. Or I've had to be a pirate in my playthrough because I was just skint all the time, no matter what I did. So hey.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I can figure out a good way to make money in that game. Speaking of space, have you guys seen? Any of you guys fans of Star Trek?
Yes.
Yes.
Then you will be excited for this game, I hope. Have you seen that this game is coming out?
Yeah. Was it on one of the
Yeah, well, I think the
I can't remember what it was on.
not E3.
Yeah, that one.
Was it on Keely's show?
Yeah, it was on something, wasn't it?
So I mean, this is basically Stellaris, but with a Star Trek skin. But it looks kind of great, and I think 30 minutes before the show, I got an email from Paradox, like press release saying that the pre-orders are now up.
Nice.
And it's coming out October, I think it was 15th, I think.
Nice.
So it's pretty soon.
Yeah, I grew up like with Next Generation, so it was always on the TV.
Yeah, and I mean, in this game, you get to decide yourself what happens. Like, play it out yourself. I think you can even play as like the Klingons and everything.
Is it across like multiple time periods, or is it set in one of them specifically?
There's a Klingon voiceover pack. Oh, nice!
What is that?
So
huge moth is flying around. Sorry.
There's a Klingon voice pack that you can get if you do a pre-order.
That'd be amazing. They're just shouting stuff at you.
Yeah, it's like the advisors, instead of saying like, sir, sorry, we're running low on food. It's like that same thing, but in Klingon.
I hope they change all the text to Klingon as well. You got to go all in. Just make it really.
Well, I'd love
You'd
that.
have no idea what's going on unless you know Klingon, but it'd be great.
What a language to learn.
But I mean, considering it's a Stellaris spin-off in a sense, I would say it's probably all the you can probably choose your path as pretty hefty, in a pretty hefty way. So like I'm guessing if you want to play Next Generation, you can play Next Generation.
Nice.
And yeah, you also get to design your. I think at least in the in Stellaris, you get to design your own spaceship. So I'm guessing you can at least design which weapons you want. And yeah, it's because at the end of the day, it is a grand strategy game. It's a map painter of sorts.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Looks
and
good.
it's also quite cheap. I mean, 30
Yeah, that's
euros.
not bad.
That's not bad, is it?
So like, what will that be in the UK? Like
Probably
25?
$29.99, I'd say.
Yeah, we seem to be getting stitched up lately, don't
Oh
we?
no!
We're the same as the dollar in like conversion rates, even though it's not.
Yep.
And then we're the same as the euro, so we can't win.
Yep.
Yeah. So coming October 12th. So Startex fans, you have something to look forward to. Yeah, I love Stellaris. Is one of my favorite games. So this is probably just gonna be just as good, but it's it's not an easy game to get into because it requires a certain it's quite complex. But I would say that Stellaris has the out of the games out of Paradox, I would say Stellaris is the easiest one to get into. So hopefully they kept the tutorial because it's a pretty good tutorial. Otherwise, these games can be hard to learn. Phoenix, I think you need to drop pretty soon, so
Oh yeah,
I
I
want to
do.
hold you too long because I know you need to go. I think we lost Vet. I think his internet might have gone down.
Yeah, he said his power went off. It's
Oh no.
mountain life for you.
Yeah, mountain life. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us, Phoenix.
That's all
I'll
right.
let
Thank you
you
for
run
inviting
because
me.
I know you need to. And everyone, don't forget to join Phoenix over at Twitch.
Thank you.
What's the link again?
MISSFEENIX. I'll
There we
check
go.
it in the chat.
Yeah, do that.
There we go.
So yeah,
Right.
definitely go and check that out. And thank you so much. So yeah,
That's all right. Thank you guys.
See
See
you
you all
later.
next time.
yeah, see ya. So yeah, so let's see what else do we have. Right. So maybe you can since you have an Xbox and I don't,
Yeah.
maybe you can shed some more light on this. So the new September update allows you to do a couple of things with your Xbox, including streaming your games from Xbox to Discord. Is this a big thing? I don't know.
Well,
Like,
I posted up on Twitter because I didn't see the point in this because like for streamers you can't and you can't monetize it. You couldn't.
yeah,
You can't do anything with it. It just goes to a Discord chat. It's not like anything public or anything. It has to go to your chat you're on. And I put up what's the point of this, and a few people sort of came at me on Twitter, and basically it's if you're playing in a party and you want to get some help, they said, or maybe you're all
that makes
playing
sense.
together and someone wants to maybe use your footage, so they could copy your footage. You could stream it to Discord, and then they could record it off their computer and stuff like that. I'm not 100% sure. It's a nice addition, I suppose, but I don't think it's going to be used by a lot of people. But it's
Yeah.
it's options for people, isn't it? So
It feels to me almost like a case of like I don't understand the appeal because I'm too old. But when my in a few years when my kids are older and start using Discord to chat with their friends, they will love this feature.
yeah,
But I would I would just go over my head. I don't understand it.
I would rather they've added YouTube streaming to Xbox,
Yes,
but we'll take what we can
definitely.
get, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. And I was like, I know I can stream to YouTube from my PlayStation. I tried that with Stray Gods the other day, and it didn't work. I don't like. It said I was broadcasting, but there was nothing on my channel, and I can't find it anywhere. I have no idea what's going on. With it.
I think the PlayStation streaming is great. I've used it for both Twitch and YouTube, and I've used Xbox for Twitch, but I get the point of having it into Discord, like it Rudig says, it's for those who want to show off the footage and people may not be in the game with them and stuff, I suppose.
Yeah.
But I don't have a friends group like that, obviously. That's what it is.
Same. And whenever I play, it's like spontaneously, like, oh, I'll just jump in and play for the 1 hour that I have. Like I think I've like. When I finished Stray Gods, it was during my lunch break at work, because I'm working from home. So I was like, I'm home alone because my kid, one kid is in school, the other one is away with her grandma doing something fun. I was like, I mean, I have the TV for myself. I could just play games while eating lunch. So I did.
Yeah.
And it was great. And then I finished the game just in time for my meeting that was started right after lunch. So it's like, yes, perfect timing. And also variable refresh rate is being added to if your TV allows it.
That's good. That's needed, especially nowadays with frame rates not being solid 60s. It's always nice to have the VRR.
Yeah. And then a new way to view and redeem rewards as well, apparently.
Do you know what? I finally got that
Use it.
new Xbox UI update, the dashboard. I just don't like it. I like the old UI dashboard. It was fine. Yes, it covered up the background, but now not only have they made the thing smaller, which is great, it's like a double-edged sword. So they've made the pictures smaller, but then they've took away all of the usability of the home screen. Like you can only have 2 groups pinned on your home now, and I had 4 previously. And then after your groups, it's just adverts and spam for Game Pass and Store. And I get
Seems
why they
like
do it.
someone didn't do their homework on the UX department there.
Yeah, and like with the rewards, I used to be really big into the rewards. I used to do it daily, and then some days it just stopped working. Stuff wouldn't track properly. There's never a very good response from the support for me anyway. And nowadays I get like a lot of review codes, so I'm not buying as much on the store, and I'd get codes through other places and stuff like that if needs be. Because life's life, and we've all got to like work together and stuff. So sometimes people will buy me codes, will like stuff like that. But it's a nice, but they seem to be updating things just to update them instead of making them useful. Like the reward system worked fine till they broke it, and now they're going back to change it just for changing's sake.
Don't fix what ain't broken, but then if you break it, go back and fix it.
The UI on Xbox was fine. It came over from the Xbox One. It was fine. It was just a bit slow. They fixed that. They made it fast. They made it 4K. It was great. I get people wanted it to be more like the PS5, which was a new experience to be for next gen. But for me, if I'm bringing everything over, I just want it to be the same, just better. And it was. Yeah. And maybe I'm in the minority there, but I would rather they focused on maybe backwards compatibility and bugs and the DVR system and all the other things on.
Yeah, and I think for the most, like, if you look at the difference between the PS4 and PS5 UIs, it's like the PS5 UI looks a lot better, but the only thing they just changed the look of things a bit. They didn't really change the feature set at all.
They added a few little features in.
Yeah, it's like and a few little features, and then like let's just make the key art for the games a bit bigger, and let's change these icons to look like this instead. Like sure, go for it. Like you don't have to reinvent the wheel just because you're making something new.
That's what I like about PlayStation. Whether you like what they do with their home screen or not, because there's been a few other home screens I haven't preferred, but once you get it, that's it. They stick with it and they don't mess around with it. They don't tinker it. I swear, my Series X has had about 4 dashboards since I got it. It changes all the time. And what's the point? What a waste of money and resources that they could put into things that are actually to do with the games.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those, like, I think that also plays, for me at least, plays into the whole idea of, like, I honestly think Xbox wants out of the hardware race. I think they want to...
I don't know that. I may disagree with you there, but I feel like because they're Microsoft, they like to tinker. Like when you look at Word and you look at Teams, everything changes all the time, and they're always changing it to keep ahead of any sort of potential future edition or potential lawsuit or something like that. They have to keep on top of all of the
or like
parameters and stuff.
Or in the case of, like, for example, Teams, like, oh shit, Slack is doing this thing, we need to do that too, and or like, I heard rumors they're looking at something like this. Let's build it before they do.
That's it. Yeah. However, the new UI, it does look very much like a mobile device UI to me. It looks very much like a tablet UI with big squares you could touch.
It's
which
probably
would work really well on a mobile handheld computer tablet thing like a ROG Ally.
And honestly,
they don't have a mobile version, which they should really do. They
the
need
UI
to
on the Xbox app and the Game Pass app on your phone is pretty good. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're going like, so we have this works pretty well. People like this. Can we make it the same across all places, and then just like if we want to change one thing, we can change it on all of them instead of doing it 4 times over.
I would be very happy with that if that's the reason that's changed, and that's what happens.
I think they're probably working towards that. But like I at one point spoke to someone working at Xbox and was like, so So why? Because I asked him, like, I got this DLC through Prime Gaming for Minecraft, Minecraft Dungeons, but I only have it on my PC. I don't have it when I play through XCloud. Why is that? And I was like, no, because it's different stores. Like the Windows Store, which is the Xbox like PC store, is a different database from the Xbox Store. So like if you look at Minecraft Dungeons on both of them, like there will be two games called Minecraft Dungeons. They will have different IDs. They're like completely different databases. And they said that we're trying for everything new since we realized this was a fucking stupid idea. We're trying to add like make sure that they have the same ID and everything is the same. But like there are thousands of games on there that has
Yeah.
different IDs that has to be
I
manually combined because they do want to merge them into one database.
yeah,
have, like,
I'm surprised they
five
haven't just got
functioning
rid of the Microsoft Store because it's rubbish. Like the only time
Yeah.
I use the Microsoft Store is when I either get sent a code for something that's got a Microsoft version store just for the achievements, or to buy a game for the achievements. I wouldn't buy anything on the Microsoft Store because it's rubbish. And if I was going to play on my PC, I use the Xbox app on the PC, like the Game Pass app instead.
Yeah, and I mean,
install it through that.
But that's the thing. The Game Pass app on your PC uses the Windows Store versions of
Yeah.
everything instead of because it's two different. And like I get them. Like it's hard to merge two databases. It's because I mean, if they get one thing wrong, then someone will be like, "I lost my game," and they will be like, "Oops, we can't really fix that now." Like,
So they should put more resources into that than changing the dashboard again.
yeah,
There we go.
They need more backend and database developers, but I mean, honestly, it's Microsoft. They have plenty. Come on. Yeah,
I
know
wish
they're
they'd
working
drop
on
it though and just focus on put Game Pass on Steam and let people play the games. And even the like Epic Store, put like versions of Game Pass onto there, and then put your games on those stores because
Yeah,
it just
and
makes
that's
more
what,
sense.
and that's the thing. I think they are looking to do that
Yes.
in terms of like they want to become the biggest publisher in the world and have Game Pass be their like one of the ways you can play their games, but have their games and that service everywhere. And as long as they are in the hardware market and have an Xbox console, PlayStation and Nintendo won't let them on.
No.
But if they did, if there wasn't like next generation, if they go, yeah, let's just not.
I
and
think
then
that
go,
could
hey,
change
PlayStation,
though.
can we?
When they get ABK, that could possibly change the balance. Possibly,
but-
it may not.
Yeah,
because
but
PlayStation.
but I can really see them being like, so hey, PlayStation, we're not gonna do another Xbox. Can we get a dev kit? Can we make a good deal? Can we maybe do some? Can we get Game Pass on there? We'll bring all the other games, but only if we can get 10%. Like give you 10% instead of 30%. And then the PlayStation will be like, oh, we can get Halo and Forza and Fable and all Activision Blizzard stuff, and all of the Bethesda stuff and Starfield and everything. Sure.
Do you know what I feel? And this might be controversial. I feel like not this next gen, maybe the generation after. I think more, not just be Xbox. I think you may see PlayStation start pushing more onto multi-platform.
Yeah,
and maybe even Nintendo in the future, because there's a lot that they're starting to realize, especially PlayStation's realize there's a lot of money sat on Steam and PC. We're seeing it more and more.
Definitely.
Nintendo will eventually realize this. They will. I mean, they sell gangbusters of Switches, and when they announce the Switch 2 finally, they don't even have to try. They could literally announce the Switch 2 with a original port, like exactly the same Mario 64 original version as the launch game, and it would sell out across the world because it's Nintendo.
Yeah,
but I think eventually they will get a CEO in charge who's like, money.
Yeah,
and they go, well, why are we not doing? Hang on, we could put Mario Kart on Xbox and PlayStation and reaping lots and lots more money.
Yeah, it's like if Mario Kart was on everywhere, they would, instead of selling like 100 million copies, and sell 200 million copies. Like,
I'm not saying every single game will be cross-platform,
but
I honestly believe in a few generations' time, all the big publishers will be putting at least more than they do now onto other systems.
Yeah,
and like, obviously, let's not say Activision, because Activision's going to keep doing that anyway. But like, I'm on about like maybe your Halos and stuff, maybe those style games. PlayStation, maybe they'll put them on. Maybe
Yeah.
not the same
and
day and
especially if
date.
you also take
but
cloud gaming
eventually.
into account as well. Because I mean,
Yeah,
if you look at like, I mean, 2 generations forward, that's what, like 15 years from now.
yeah.
Like cloud at that point, cloud gaming will. Oh, I think we lost Ash. I think he's hopefully coming back very soon. No connection. What happened?
I'm back.
There we go. Perfect. Yeah. So, what was it? Right. So, like, I think, like 15 years from now, I can very much see a case of like the market will look completely different because cloud will be
Yeah.
everywhere. Like, it will be just as big, if not bigger, than the console market is today. I think at that point. I think even honestly, even by 2030, I think we could very well be that we have like 200 million cloud gamers around the world, which is like bigger than PlayStation and Nintendo combined. And at that point, like, how does that change multi-platform?
Yeah. Well, it's already starting with GeForce Now. You can play
Oh, yeah.
GeForce Now on your Xbox, which means you can technically play all those games on an Xbox. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, I what like because technically on the Xbox you can, because that's going through the Edge browser, right?
yes, you have to use the
Yeah.
browser. It's not perfect, but you
Hang on, that
technically can
means
do it.
technically you can on if you play if you get Boosteroid and you play use Boosteroid on your Xbox, you could in theory then play Spider-Man Miles Morales on your Xbox.
Technically, yes. And I hope that's the case in the future. And now they're doing these like deals with Boosteroid, GeForce Now for cloud because of Activision.
Yeah,
I'm hoping we get native cloud apps on Xbox as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if we do. If you,
And
'cause,
I'm all
keep
for
in
that.
mind the first one has already arrived, even though it's this weird in the arcade, like this arcade thing.
Yeah, Antstream Arcade.
Yeah, I mean that is technically a native app for cloud streaming service.
Yeah.
And I think that will be the first. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
and I don't think we'll see one in the next like year or so, or maybe in a year or so. I think we'll see both GeForce Now and Boosteroid drop in with that. And when they do, I why not? Like, why shouldn't Shadow and Utomic and all the other ones as well?
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
No,
And because
exactly.
I think at the end of the day, Xbox, all they care about right now is because I mean, they've pretty much admitted themselves that they like PlayStation is outselling them. They I think Phil Spencer said in an interview that they lost the console race in the most important generation, which was the last one, where
Xbox One,
everyone went digital and built their digital library and built their digital loyalty to a platform, and they fell behind there, and it's hard for them to recoup from that. So for them, it's more like, we just want our games everywhere. Obviously, they like, with the world as it is, they do need exclusives to sell.
Yeah.
Like if they didn't have any exclusives, no one would buy an Xbox at all. Because why wouldn't?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why? But
to be fair, it's weird though, because not when you look at the amount of people that play the exclusives, like especially on PlayStation, there's such a minute number compared to the.
Yeah, I mean, they are. Yeah,
So
definitely.
maybe
sell
maybe
units in a
exclusives
sense.
don't sell as much as they used to. Like
Yeah, I
back
think
in the
you're
day,
right.
I think. I mean, the difference is Nintendo. Like Nintendo,
They don't count.
half of that machine is.
Yeah,
exclusive
Nintendo don't
nowadays.
count. They're
Their own
Nintendo's
little thing.
Nintendo. I don't like. I don't. Yeah, they're their own thing. We don't.
I'm imagining being
Yeah.
able to play on the cloud stuff soon, and it's good though if they put cloud apps on Xbox. That would give people more reason to buy an Xbox because
Yeah,
you could. That's like a little PC. Then you don't need to buy a PC to play your cloud. You can literally just play Xbox with a pad. It's all good to go. Download the app.
and I mean, the Xbox supports technically the mouse and keyboard as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. I had the Razer one with the everything on it. It's really good.
Perfect. And like, honestly, like if there were native apps for Boosteroid and GeForce Now and Shadow, I would just get an Xbox for my TV. Like that's what would push me to get an Xbox. At this point, I feel like I don't really need one. Like,
Exactly.
but if that happened, yeah, sure.
And it's
I
not
would-
going to hurt them
I'd
as
be
such
down.
because they're still going to have people playing the Xbox games either natively or via cloud, and they're going to make money from that. So
Yeah,
like,
and like if and like it would bring, I think it would bring more people to sign up for Game Pass as well.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
what
yeah,
they want at
definitely.
the end of the day. Like, that's what they're chasing right now. So yeah, I think it's definitely a case to be made that we should get that. But yeah, speaking of Game Pass, there were some new announcements being made, and I love to see this. Cloud, good. They've stopped with the whole, this is only for PC and this is only for Xbox and this is for Xbox and PC, but not cloud. Good. Everything just to all of them. So Lies of Pi, Solar Ash, and Starfield. I think those are the only ones, right? Right. And Gris available.
Yeah, Gris is out now, and the
Yeah,
other
and I mean
three are
at this
coming.
point, Starfield is out now as
Starfield's
well.
out now. Yeah, technically.
Next week, Solar Ash from the people behind Hyperlife Drifter. Great art style, but I don't think it's a game for me personally. But looks amazing.
High speed gravity bending. It says. I'm
Yeah.
looking at the. I've never heard of it. I'm not gonna lie, but it looks pretty cool. It's
Yeah, I
not
remember
like
seeing the
something I
trailer.
would go out and buy, but I would definitely play it on Game Pass and give it a go.
Yeah,
So,
same. I remember
and then
seeing
I
the
tend to
trailer
pick
on.
stuff up when they leave.
I think the trailer. I think it was it on the Game Awards maybe that I saw that they showed it off for the first time. It was like it looked
Possibly.
gorgeous, but also looked like this looks amazing and not a game for me. Was my first pick. And then
That's what Lies of P look for me. Like,
yeah, same.
it looks amazing, but I hate Souls-like games. I get frustrated. I don't want to have my ass whooped time after time after time. I want to be in a world where I can kick everyone's ass if I want
Same,
to.
yes,
So,
please. Like story
just a
modes
shame.
are. I love that we're getting story modes in most games now because that's just
Yeah,
it's
and
like
I hate people that are like
back.
they're ruining the artistic integrity of
No, they're
these games
not.
by making an easy mode. Like, no, they're not. They're meaning people like me who would avoid this game like the plague may play it and buy it.
Yeah,
It
it's
doesn't
like
affect
if
you.
I had time to
Yeah.
really learn the mechanics, I could enjoy these games as they were
Yeah.
intended. But I don't have that time. It's gotta be like I play for 3 hours, I learn the mechanic, and then I go away and do something else, and then come back 3 weeks later. I don't remember shit.
Yeah, every time. And all games, I said this the other week on a show. All games, if you've not logged in for over like 2 months, when you switch the game on, it should quickly pop up with like a quick run back of how you do everything, like
Yeah,
a
just
2-minute
re-enable
video.
the tutorials.
Yeah, just quickly goes through and goes, do you need this, yes or no? You can click no, click yes. If you click yes, it's either like a quick video or like a very brief tutorial, just so you know what you're doing.
Yeah,
Because there's nothing worse.
Like when you play FIFA, it will bring out like if you can enable this trainer, which just shows you like you currently have the ball. If you press this button, you will make a pass. If you press this button, you will shoot. Like have that show up throughout the game, please.
Yeah, I
Whenever
don't need it all
touched
the
it for 2
time.
weeks,
It doesn't
bring
have
it
to go
back.
into like all of the systems, just the
it's
core
like,
stuff.
oh, we see you haven't played for 2 weeks. Do you want to enable the trainer? Yes, please. And then you just have that like keep playing as usual, but you get prompts and like
Yeah.
you know this button does this, right?
Yeah.
Oh right, I forgot about that. Thank you.
I've got a lot of games, and I tend to play a game, and then I'll move on to something else because I'll play it with something with my friends. So then I put something down I am playing, and then I come back to it. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I stop playing because I'm fed up with it. The amount of times, and then I have to start a game from scratch, which I really don't want to do. So.
Yeah, and also loved like what The Witcher 3 did when they with their loading screens. Like when you start the game, the loading when you start the game up is like recapping the current story events. I was like, yes, please, I needed that.
Yeah, I've seen a few games do that, and I like more should do it.
Yeah,
I'm one of those people that plays like 5-6 games at once. I don't just sit with one game, and that's all. I can't just focus on one and play it all the way to the end because life takes hold.
Yeah.
Every now and again, I'll find like if it's an indie game, sort of 10, 12 hours, I can, but I'm still playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I'm at 165 hours.
Yeah, I get on
so
when I got to the epilogue, I was like, I have the epilogue left, and all the side content. I'm done. I'm out.
I love it. I love it.
I do look forward to Mirage now, so there's that.
40 hours, I can manage that.
Yeah, same. And that's like Stray Goats was perfect. Like Stray Goats took me 3 weeks to beat, and it's a 6-hour game. That should
Exactly.
Just to show the scope of things here.
Yeah. We're not saying we need easy and story modes because we're rubbish. We're saying we want easy and story modes because we're just busy. That's all we want.
Exactly. I intend to finish Baldur's Gate several times over, but I know that will like a single playthrough will take me like a year.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm fine with it, but it's just the way it is. But yeah, and then last week we got into Age of Empires 4 for the console edition and some other things. Humankind is also like console and cloud for that. That's a great game, and I love that we finally got this Stadia. The Stadia version of Humankind had first of all it had touch controls, but it also had a controller mode.
Right.
And then when Stadia closed, like the PC version did not have any of those. But we finally have it. Yay! I haven't checked if the touch version is in there. I don't think it is.
It probably isn't, unfortunately.
Yeah, but
It'd be
still, I
nice
mean,
if they did it.
yeah, but still, the controller version is in there, and
Well, if it's
humankind.
on cloud, it might have the touch version.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
so-
check that out after the show. So I'm curious. I also realize I'm just like, to anyone who's been hoping I would update the touch over like the touch Excel sheet I made. I'm probably not gonna. I'm too far behind because like I did this thing last year. I think I started around this time last year, and I spent 3 months trying out for at least 5 minutes of each game, every single game with touch on xCloud, and I made notes on how well it played, if it was playable, if it was text was readable, and I made, gave it a score like, is this a game you should play with touch or not? And out of those 200 games on that list, around 70 were. So there's a bunch of games you should not even bother with on cloud, on with touch. But yeah, so like, and it's funny because like even like people from Xbox reached out and thanked me for that list because it was useful to them, and I love that. But at the same time, like I it's too much work. I can't. So anyone else want to take over? Please do. I think comments are open. I'll drop a comment.
Just put it to the community and let everyone
Yeah.
update it.
Yeah.
Put it on one of those like Google.
I hope
Drives
someone
where
would do that, but no
Yeah.
one did. So I guess. I guess nothing.
My internet is so bad. I struggle with cloud nowadays. It makes me sad.
Yeah, that's sad.
Well, only xCloud. xCloud is the only one I struggle with. Stadia never had any issues with.
Yeah, but Stadia was black magic, so that doesn't count. But yeah, I mean, as someone who's very lucky with this internet, I mean, we have like the entire community is connected collectively.
Oh,
so nice. Rather than negotiate collectively. So there is fiber to every single apartment, and it's like 170 apartments. So we pay like £8 a month for gigabit fiber, all of us each.
Nice.
Which is really nice. So like internet wise, it's like I'm set. I can play cloud. It's great. We have a data center on the other side of town, meaning like it's like 2 milliseconds of latency for Booster and GeForce Now, and it's like, why I'm never gonna go back from cloud at this point. but also you can like, if you don't have the internet, of course it's not as good.
I'm on like 50 meg at best. It's sad.
Yeah, that's sad. Hopefully you'll get an upgrade soon, because cloud is pretty much magic. You just hit play and then don't bother with anything. You're just going. But speaking of cloud, GeForce Now have a couple of updates. They have the Ultimate Kovacs Challenge. So it's like you start the game, you sign in, and then it's like you're straight into it, and you play for a minute, just trying to hit targets, and you get a score.
Right, cool.
So if you do that, you also get one. I think it's 1 day or 3 days. Automatically of the GeForce Now Ultimate to try it, and then you can try it again and see if it makes a difference. I tried it out, and I think I got one of the lowest scores ever because I suck at shooters. But it's a fun thing. It's a challenge. You can try it if you want to feel the difference between like having all the supporting 250 40 FPS and everything.
Nice.
It's a cool, interesting concept of them to do. So there's a bunch of they write a lot of text to tell us the news, but this is the most important things. So there's 16 new games being added this week.
Nice.
Which is, I mean, last week it was something like 20. Like used to be, we got maybe like 4, maybe 8. Now 16 is a slow week. it's a bit crazy. So any of these games that you have an interest in, just stop me and we'll take a look at it deeper. So Chants of Sennar. Sorry. And then we have Synced. Most of these I haven't heard of. And then we have Void Crew. These are all new releases today or this week on Steam being added. And then we have Deceive Inc. Makes me wonder if this is related to like Plague Inc. maybe.
I don't believe so. I don't believe
I'm gonna
it
look
is.
that up. What is this game? The name intrigues me.
Deceive Inc. I've played this. I've got it on Xbox. It's really good. It's basically like a team v team spy game where it's like, say, 5v5 or something like that, and you are all in disguises. So you've got like camouflage where you're like you are someone in the level, like a character, and it kind of is a bit like Transformers. You can change your skin like when you touch someone, but
This gives
where
me the
you're
vibes
looking,
of
that when you're in camouflage, your your character doesn't look around like you're looking, so it's not obvious you're a human. It looks like just an NPC, and you have to like set
so
traps
cool.
and stuff and steal items. Imagine like Payday, Left 4 Dead, and all that, but mixed on like a multiplayer spy PvP.
Reminds me very
mode.
much of the Assassin's Creed multiplayer from back in the day.
Yeah, really fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Set in like it's like very much sort of like 60s vibe to it with like the style and everything.
Yeah, this
really
looks
good.
dope.
I enjoyed that. It unfortunately it is full of like season passes and microtransactions if you want like really cool costumes. But if you just want to play, the game itself is pretty cheap. And
Yeah,
you
and
can play.
and on discount right now, 25%.
Yeah,
off.
exactly.
Nice. So yeah, this has been me intrigued. If I had time for it, I would definitely pick this one up.
It takes a lot to master. I played it for about 3 hours, and I still got my backside handed to me.
Yeah, I can understand why. Play Till Requiem, the Xbox edition. So basically, if you have Game Pass, or, Ultimate or PC, but don't have the game, you can now play through GeForce Now.
That's pretty cool. I like that. I like that they're doing that.
Yeah,
it's a really,
and like
cool addition.
It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 new games from Game Pass this week alone, and I think all of them are third-party games, which is great to see. So Game Pass really giving their value here. Airborne Kingdom, Epic Game Store.
I like that. That's quite a fun game. It's basically you build like floating cities. It's like a city builder, but you're flying around basically.
Oh, I love city builders.
Yeah, it's not a huge one. They're like you basically expand these like floating cities, and you have to like get your people to like build them up and stuff, and then you have to trade with people and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's a fun little game. Bit slow paced, but it is fun. I did enjoy
like this
that.
is my jam. I love city builders. I think like most of the first looks I've done on my channel has been city builders because I just love them.
It does look like it's been updated since I last played it, though. Like looking at that video there, so really fun though. It's different. It's got a nice art, like a simplistic but very like nice art style to it. Highly recommend that one.
Yeah, I've added it to my wish list. Let's see if I can find time for it. Then we have Atomic Heart. Did you play that?
I didn't like it. It's not
same. I also didn't like it.
Something off about it. And I can't say what it was. Like it looked nice. Just it didn't click with me, and luckily it was on Game Pass, so I didn't have to worry about it. So.
Yeah, I got a review code, and then I was like, I felt so bad when I played it, and then realized I didn't like it.
Oh, I applied. They didn't send me a review code. Probably for the best now, thinking about it, because I wouldn't have been too. Kind.
It was one of those like this is like I get why people like it, but it just wasn't for me. Like the gameplay wasn't for me. And something about the whole vibe just threw me like
it just felt like it was missing something. And I bet if it had that one thing that it was missing, it would have been a really good game. But I don't. It's just odd.
Yeah. And like for me, it was also a case of like it was too hard. I'm too bad at playing those type of games. Then we have Call of the Wild, the Anglers. I'm guessing that's a fishing game.
Yeah, it's just come out on Game Pass literally like this week, or last week. So
for them,
it's a very good get. It's not my cup of tea. I'm not a big fisherman gamer.
Yeah, same.
It's a spin-off to like the I think it's like a hunting game. So
yeah, and they have the Danganronpa.
Danganronpa V3. Yeah, it's supposed to be good. I haven't played it, but someone on our channel swears by them that they're really good games.
I played a little bit of one of them for the Touch edition, and I just I didn't get it at all.
No, isn't it like a rhythm game from what I remember, or am I thinking of something different?
I thought if I remember, it felt more like a puzzle game with like JRPG puzzle game meets JRPG with like. High school thing is weird, and then you have this weird.
This
like,
one looks more like a visual novel. I'm thinking of something else. There was something on Game Pass where you were like having to hit things. It looked like drums. I think that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, like I think it has a pretty big fan base, but I don't get it.
No.
Let's open up these up so we don't have to wait for it to load later. Then we have Death in the Waters.
That's.
Oh nope. This is not for me. Survival horror underwater looks cool, but yeah, nope.
I'm not a big first-person survival horror fan. I don't like that it's like realistic. I think I would much prefer like third-person survival horror every day of the week. So
Yeah, and I mean, this is one of those like if you have a fear of sharks and you want to do like trade exposure therapy, go for it. This looks horrifying.
you should play that the VR one on the PS4.
Yeah,
The
like
one where you're in the
yeah,
cage. The shark comes at you.
I tried to like I jokingly said that we should put like one of my best friends. She's a really bad fear of sharks. And we were like, oh, should we put her into that? And she heard me say, so it was like, no, because someone's already done it to me, and I hated it. She had been apparently like punched the headset off her face in fear.
Well, it's not my headset. I'd be all right with that.
Yeah, exactly. Then with this one. This one I'm curious about, like this hard space shipbreaker. Like
I've heard of it, but I haven't played it. But it looks interesting.
hey, to my understanding, it's like you're like salvaging a space like broken spaceship for parts up in space in zero gravity.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's supposed. I think it started out as some sort of like tech demo thing, and then they realized this was a lot of fun, so they just built it, finished it, and released it, and people love it.
It's focused, so it should be semi-decent.
Yeah, so it's like you go out there and you pick apart this broken spaceship for parts in zero G, and
Yeah,
it's apparently
I played
quite.
that. It looks all right.
Yeah, I've been meaning to try it. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Looks like it'd be a good VR game. That.
Yeah,
It's not a VR game already.
yeah, definitely. Then we have Insurgency, and if I remember, yeah, this is also Focus Entertainment. This was wasn't this their like their take on like Call of Duty and Battlefield?
Yeah, basically. I've noticed a lot of these are Focus games, these Game Pass ones, because Plague Tale's Focus as well, Atomic Heart's Focus,
Yeah.
I think. So
Wouldn't
they must
surprise
have
me if
got a
there's-
deal with them. That's why it's on.
Yeah, or maybe some.
This looks good.
Yeah, maybe I'm like just guessing here, but maybe the like GeForce Now team were like, so hey, Focus, do you have someone who can help us out with it? Just verify the settings for things. Like, yeah, sure, Pete can help you, and then they solved it. Yes, No Man's Sky is also on Game Pass, and was part of last week's addition to GeForce Now. So if you have GeForce Now and Game Pass, you can play No Man's Sky. Then we have Monster Sanctuary. Isn't this one of those like it's Metroidvania? But I think it has some like Pokemon elements to it. Or
I
puzzle
think so,
elements.
yeah. I'm not the biggest Metroidvania fan. I just get
Same,
lost.
yeah. But,
I
I mean,
love the art style. I love the music and everything, and I love the pixel graphics. But I just can never really get into Metroidvanias. I always find them rock hard as well. Like I've
Yeah.
always wanted to play the Castlevania series through and through, but
yeah,
they're,
like Castlevania meets or Metroidvania meets RPG.
I'd probably be more
Pokemon.
interested in that then if it's a bit more of a RPG
Yeah.
style. That looks quite good. That
Seems to be like has elements of it, but maybe more of the Metroidvania things.
I'll have to
And
check
then
that out.
yeah, and then obviously Saints Row. First of all, too bad to see them the developers go under, but
Yeah.
but also, I mean, obviously it's been an Epic Games exclusive. It's now come to Steam, and with that, it also coming to GeForce Now. Because I mean, they already had the Epic version, so for them to just add this one was
Just easy.
yeah, it's just all right. That's just plop done. And then we have Shadowrun Hong Kong. Shadowrun is a
game.
great one. Like isometric XCOM meets D&D, but cyberpunky. It's like cyberpunk with magic.
I'm not saying I still want Microsoft to bring back that Shadowrun FPS. I love that game. I know no one else did, but you could like phase through
Yeah,
walls
hang
and
on,
stuff like that. It was awesome.
Hang on,
And then
who
it
owns the
was-
IP now? Shadowrun. Who owns that video IP at this point? Is this Paradox now? Because Paradox has been publishing the last couple of ones.
Who knows?
Mm-mm.
That sounds pretty cool though. In chat, turn-based Metroidvania. Powers you get come from the creatures you find. Oh, like a bird allows you to fly. That sounds really cool. I'm
Yeah,
definitely
that's
try
just-
that now.
Yeah, you sold us on it. Thank you, Rouser. publication history. Yeah, but this is the I don't know, video games. There we go. Right. So Hong Kong. Oh, I mean, Hong Kong is the latest one, but that's from 2015. I know Paradox published it, but I don't think they own the IP.
No, I'm not sure who owns the
Paradox
IP.
did buy Harebrained Schemes though.
Maybe they do.
Yeah. So maybe yeah, but then they sold them. But I think they kept the IPs. I think they sold the studio, but kept the IP. If I remember correctly. So yeah, I don't know. But my Paradox at this point. Yeah,
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, either way, Shadowrun is pretty cool. Then we have SnowRunner. Have you played this?
I cannot get into this game. I've tried. I played Mudrunner, which is the same thing, but in the mud. It's not my cup of tea. It's finicky.
Yeah, I haven't even tried it yet. Maybe I should.
It's one of those sim games where it just feels too simmy.
Yeah, it's like I enjoy Euro Truck Simulator, but then I played Bus Simulator, and I was like, this is too much.
Exactly.
So I don't know. Hopefully, it's more like Euro Truck and less like Bus Simulator. I guess we'll find out. And then lastly, we have the War for the Overworld, and yeah, this is basically a new like indie version of Dungeon Keeper.
I saw this. I'm looking forward to playing this one. Yeah, it looks really good.
Released in 2015, and now we're getting it on GeForce Now. Sure, go for it.
I'm all for dungeon games like this. They don't.
I just love the intro text of tired of invading dungeons. It's time for you to build your own. Yeah. Yes, please. Yeah, I love this concept, and I haven't really played a lot of these games, but concept-wise, I love it.
Yeah, definitely, I'd give that a try. I like that they're putting more old games onto GeForce Now and stuff as well, because everyone owns stuff like this. I've got so many Steam games that it'd be nice to be able to play when I wanted to play them, not having to wait for them to install them.
Instead of having to install them and just you can could from at your lunch break at work, if you have a decent internet connection at the office, just pop up your work laptop and go into the browser and you go playing. I've done that in the past. It's kind of nice. So yeah, definitely awesome to see. And then I think that's it with the news. Yeah, we went through it all. And yes, people are complaining that still no Starfield. I'm sure it's coming. Just chill.
It will. They're not going to not put it on because they want as many people as possible to play it at. So
yeah, it's gonna come. It's just a matter of timing. It's not ready yet. I'm guessing there's some weird bug that shows up or something that they need to solve before they can release it. It's bound to be here any minute.
They might even have some sort of release agreement with other people for things like I doubt it could be anything. Yeah, but it'll come. They're not going to keep their biggest game in years.
Yeah, no.
From more people having to buy that game to play it, because if you've got GeForce Now, you either have to have Game Pass or you have to buy it. So Xbox is going to make that money. So
yeah, either way, Xbox wins. So
yeah, exactly.
Just get it out there. Definitely. But yeah, it feels like we're getting Starfield in very soon. There's a bunch of high-profile Xbox games that are probably going to get GeForce Now as well before long. But yeah, so I mean, obviously, there's a bunch more games coming out this year, even though it's been a crazy year for games as is. Any final ones that you're still waiting for?
The new Dragon Quest game, that's coming soon to Switch, I believe. It might come to PlayStation as well. I'll pick it if it's on PlayStation. I'll get it there instead of Switch. Love Dragon Quest, so I'm looking forward to that. Spider-Man, got to play me some Spider-Man. Looking forward to that as well. I'm trying to think what else is coming. There's literally so many games coming out. I can't keep track of them. Crew Motorfest. I'm looking forward to Assassin's Creed. And then there's a NASCAR game coming out very soon. I noticed, and I'd only just seen this the other day. It's like a kart racing NASCAR game. So NASCAR meets Mario Kart. So I'll probably not buy it day one because it looks quite full price. But if it goes on sale, I will probably pick that up because I love arcadey kart racing games as well. So There's so much though. There's probably about 50 games I've forgot are coming out this year now. It's just stacked.
I think my biggest one now is probably. I mean, I'm looking forward to Mirage. I'm gonna try the crew because it's always fun to race around every now and then. But for me, it's probably City Skylines.
Oh yeah, that's
second
coming
one
as
of that.
well.
That's I have a lot of hours in the first one, and I did actually play test a very early build of the second one back in
Nice.
like years ago. And even with it was like it was one of those like it might have been the first place test they did with outside people. That was like already I'm hyped. This looks great. So I'm glad it's finally coming out, so I can see the end result of that. Yeah,
there's
City Skylines is
so much. I'm just looking now. Sonic Superstars,
Right,
Return
yeah.
to Moria. I really want Return to
Oh yeah,
Moria.
Moria. Yes.
That Avatar game. I have no interest in Avatar, but that game looked great.
Yeah, it does.
Like I say, I could be here all day. It looks like it's going to be so stacked beyond belief.
Yeah,
my wallet's
definitely.
going to be sad.
Hopefully, you can get review keys for most of it.
Oh, if only that's the dream, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I was so hoping to get a review key for Baldur's Gate on the PlayStation because I want to have it on both. But yeah, no luck there.
We tend to get mainly the smaller devs send us stuff, and
same
people
here.
like Clabber and stuff like them. We get a lot. THQ though, I've been very lucky. THQ get us pretty much all their code, which has been great because there's been some really good games from THQ.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's a shame that I'm not at the peak of going up
yet.
Not yet. Got lots of outright games to play as well. Oh my god,
definitely.
there's like 3 or 4
right.
next month.
And then there's a Bluey game that's totally not coming this year.
That's not coming this year. Not been announced. Doesn't exist.
Yeah,
But
totally doesn't exist. We know. Whereas did they say that in an interview like one of the something along the lines of we also have an unannounced game coming later this year based on one of the biggest children's TV shows ever. That has to be Bluey.
It's not Bluey.
It can't be like Turtles. I suppose it could be the Turtles game that.
No, that's next year. They've announced that's next year though.
Oh yeah, okay, then it's Bluey. Yeah, has to be.
I hope it's good. Like I'm a big Bluey fan. My kids love Bluey. I love Bluey.
I love Bluey more than my kids love Bluey.
I think I do as well. Yeah. And I'm just like I don't know how the game's gonna play. I hope it's not rubbish. That's all I can say.
I think it's gonna be quite close to maybe a bit more linear than the Peppa Pig games, but still pretty much like the Peppa Pig games, I think.
If it looks like it, I think I'd like it if it looks like the actual TV show. But then I'd also like it to be like a bit open worldy, like
I would love it to be like It Takes Two.
Yes. Do you know what I'd like it to be? I'd like it to be. This might be controversial. I want it to be like the Stick of Truth, like a fantasy RPG, because they're always doing fantasy
they're just playing
stuff.
pretend, and then but that's what I mean. It would
be amazing.
That concept. But doing it in the style of It Takes Two, so you have the co-op aspects and the constantly shifting gameplay mechanics.
Yeah,
and,
I like that. It worked really well.
Like they get to a new place in their house, and the game changes, and we're still the heroes of this fantasy game we're playing, but we're also now there's lava on the floor, and then you have a small platforming segment, and then you go into something else. It could be so good, so much fun if they really went all out with it. But I guess we'll see when they deem us worthy of knowing more about it.
Because at the moment they're not telling us anything.
Yeah,
and it's
spill the beans, outright. Spill the beans.
I better get something good for this. Like I want like a Bluey Outright Games T-shirt. The amount I've been spamming that Discord. I want
you and me both, mate.
That's it. We want to be like the reason this game exists is to shut these people up.
Oh yeah. It's a game that it's not even been announced yet, and I've already made 2 videos on it. Come on.
I've made one and it's done very, very well.
Same.
I'm going to do another at some point.
Same.
But there's just so much coming out. I've had to focus on the actual stuff that's been announced now.
It's a crazy. This has to be the best year for gamings ever.
In a long. probably ever, but like in recent memory, last 10 years, this has been crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like we're all going to be disappointed next year when it goes back to normal, and all now
Yeah.
we've lost that COVID rush. So
Exactly. Yeah. Next year is gonna be a slow burn. In comparison, like any year will be a slow burn in comparison. Any of the like there's like 10 games that could have won game of the year last year if it came out last year. They come out this year. It's insane.
yeah, it's mad, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, actually, thank you so much for joining me today. It's
not a
getting
problem.
late. It's getting a bit late here. It's getting late over your place as well. I'm assuming. So it's probably time for us to wrap up. So before we do, where can people find your stuff, and what can they expect in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, so you can find me on like all the sort of normal platforms. You've got YouTube, Twitter, or artist formerly known as Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and that's XPN Network. I'll say hello in the chat so you can get the direct link. And I'm also on Twitter personally as I'm_Ghostbuster with a 0, which is like just me basically. And coming up, we do shows every Saturday, 8 p.m. British Standard Time at the moment, which is a gaming podcast that spotlights games, all about cool stuff. Not really about news; it's just more about talking about games and what we've been playing. I'm doing a Outright Games podcast. I've launched it last week. We've got another one coming in a couple of weeks' time.
Nice.
And I've got loads of reviews. I've been playing all sorts of stuff, so there's going to be tons of reviews. Iron Danger is what I've been playing today. That's quite a fun little top-down style game where it's fantasy and you rewind and fast forward time in combat and in to get through puzzles and stuff. It's a bit clunky, but it is a fun and
Fun mechanic.
voice acted game as well, which is really good.
Yeah, that's nice.
So that's the next one, and I've got loads. I could keep going for hours with the amount of games I've been playing. Baby Shark, I've been playing that, so expect potential game of the year 2023 Baby Shark until it's dethroned by Bluey come in next week as well. It's just mad. I've got such a backlog of videos recorded, so I tend to put 1 or 2 out every day or two, so there's always sort of content on the XPN channel. So
yeah, and I linked it. I dropped a link in chat.
Thank you. Saves me having to do it.
Yeah, so definitely go and check it out. And as as myself, I think I have 3 videos in the editing suite right now. I wrote 3 scripts in 3 days, and then I sat down during my lunch break today. I just sat down and recorded all of them. So now I just need to edit, and you grab B-roll for a lot of it. So I have both the review of Stray Gods. A written version of that review is technically already out on the Cloud Gaming catalog. But the video review is hopefully coming. Maybe I can finish it tomorrow. Don't think so, but maybe. And then I have a review of this little bad boy.
Nice.
The Dragonbane tabletop RPG. That's also in editing. And then I just threw down a bit of a retrospective of Google Stadia. That's gonna be fun to edit. And other than that, it's the usual of Tuesdays I stream Dragonbane, that tabletop RPG, with some others. We're doing a live stream campaign every Tuesday, and Thursdays is this thing. And somewhere along the line, I also squeeze in doing Taylor Swift reactions on another channel, because why not?
I've seen that. I saw the numbers on that. I was like, oh man, I need to react to Taylor Swift and other things. Clearly, it's madness.
Yeah, it's madness. So I guess that's all I have in my pipeline right now, except playing Baldur's Gate, so I can maybe one day next year review it.
I'm gonna be. That's something I'm doing. A big review of the new One Piece series. I've started writing it, but oh man, I don't know when it's coming.
Yeah, it's one of those it'll be out when it's out.
I'm not a big writer of scripts. It's I don't have the time in my life to play, write, record, edit everything. So
I think most of my scripts are written during boring meetings at work.
I wish I could.
I'm stuck in a meeting where I don't have anything to add, but I have to be there and then maybe say one thing, so I can just zone out for 4 to 5 minutes and then say something for 5 minutes. And then those 45 minutes I usually spend writing scripts, and then I need to find the time to record them and the time to edit them, and then that's the main issue for me. But yeah, so with that out of the way, I think we managed to do it. We managed to do a show this week as well. Look forward to seeing you all next week, and we'll until then have a great time. And don't forget to check out XPN Network, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
See you later.